What's up, YouTube? It's Canvas, and today, I'm coming at you with another album review. So, Hopeless Fountain Kingdom came out, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about my opinion on that album. So, before I get started though, I just wanted to let you guys know that I have a full track breakdown, one by one, of this album's storyline and this album's concept. If you guys want to check that out, please click this card up here or click the link in the description. It'll also be linked at the end card of this video. But for this music review, I'm just going to solely base my opinions on the music and the structure of the album. I'm not going to talk about it as a concept album for this album review just because I did that in the previous video. So without further ado, let us jump into this music review. So I just want to say that recently a lot of bands that have been coming out with new music, bands that I personally enjoy a lot, have changed their sound so much. And what I'm happy with here is that Halsey has stayed true to Halsey. She stayed with the same kind of alternative electropop vibe that got me interested in her in the beginning, and I am so thankful for that. So to start off, I absolutely love the prologue idea of this album. As most of you guys know, the album is inspired by Romeo and Juliet, so what better way to start off the album by reading the prologue to Romeo and Juliet. I thought it was a really interesting way to get the listeners very interested in the rest of the album, and I personally was very interested in the rest of the album. Another thing that I really liked about this album was that the beats aren't super repetitive. She brought in a lot of different producers. I think there's about 3 on this album. Because of bringing in 3 people to do all the beat work, there's a lot of variety in the beats, which was a really good move on Halsey's part. A lot of electropop that I listen to gets very repetitive in its beats, and I think that this album did a really good job of switching everything up from track to track to track. I also think that some of the lyrics on the album fell a little flat for me. Like the song that features Quavo, and I'll get into that more a little bit later. For electropop, looking at it solely from an electropop aspect, the lyrics are a lot better than I expected them to be, as they were on Badlands for me. Specifically, Alone had really good lyric work. One other thing that I've been waiting for her to do is to finally address the fact that she is in the LGBT community. Now, obviously we all already know this, but on Badlands we didn't really get a taste musically of that side of her life. However, the lyrics in Bad at Love and also in Strangers 100% give me what I have been waiting for, and that's Halsey singing about ladies. I mean, that's like obviously what we've all been waiting for, right? No, just me? Okay. I didn't have very many cons after listening to this album, but one huge deal for me was the featured artist on some of these tracks. So while Strangers is a good song, she could have done it alone. Let's just get that out of the way. But instead, the song features Lauren Jareggi from Fifth Harmony. Why are you there? We don't need you. The vocals in the song that Lauren does are literally so, like, irrelevant. Like, they don't even need to be there. Like, there's such little vocal work from her that we could have gone the entire song and not even needed it. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't mind that she is there, but I don't think that it was necessary for her to be there. I think that was solely a production move, and they were like, hey, throw Lauren Jareggi on this track and it'll sell double than what it would have before. The same kind of deal with Quavo being on Lies. That upset me more than anything on this entire album. There was no bigger problem for me than him being on that track. When the track started, I was super into it. I was like, yeah, go, like, Halsey, do that hip-hop pattern. But then Quavo's ass comes in, and I was out. I couldn't even finish the song. I didn't want to listen to the song. I had to actually go back and listen to it in full after I had listened to the album through, because I couldn't do it. He ruined it for me. He just completely ruined it. I don't know why he's relevant. I don't know why we need him there. I get having Lauren Jareggi there, but Quavo's not even that popular. He's not going to help increase album sales. Get him out of there. He doesn't need to be there. He wrecked your song. You could have done it alone, and I would have loved it 10 times more. As always, I have a few favorites from this album though that I would love to share with you guys. My first favorite is Heaven in Hiding.
And when you start to feel the rush, a crimson headache, aching blush, and you surrender to the touch, you'll know I can put on a show, I can put on a show. Don't you see what you're finding? This is heaven in hiding.
For me, this song was classic Halsey, something that I had loved since Badlands came out. I love the way that the beat breaks down. It's about 1:50. It kind of breaks down in a way that makes Halsey's vocals sound like they're being pushed that much harder, which isn't a bad thing for me personally. I really like the fact that Halsey is able to follow this like really tough beat and this really tough groove. And for me, it just takes the song to a whole new level. My second favorite song is Alone.
Said he tried to phone me, but I never have time. He said that I never listen, but I don't even try. I gotta.
This song kind of has an upbeat kind of tempo with very dark lyrics, kind of like a lot of people are doing nowadays, so Halsey's jumping on that bandwagon, but I'm not mad at it whatsoever. The lyrics in this song are so well written, it's insane. I absolutely loved the writing on this song, but even though the writing's good, the beat is the best part of the song for me. Even though the vocals do make the song much more enjoyable and much more easier to dance to, I think that the beat was so creative, it deserves like an honorable mention. The beat starts off with this retro soul kind of instrumental, and then in the chorus jumps into that well-known electro-pop kind of classic Halsey sound, and then jumps back out after the chorus. I dug the variation, I dug everything that was going on. Solid song for me. Overall though, I think my favorite song on the album was Sorry.
I've missed your calls for months, it seems. Don't realize how mean I can be, 'cause I can sometimes treat the people that I love like jewelry.
I'm really into artists that step outside of their comfort zone and do things that listeners aren't normally used to, and we're not expecting it to come up in this album. I don't know, there's just something about Halsey with her tender vocals behind a piano belting so beautifully to such well-written lyrics that makes my day better. I think this type of ballad, this kind of slowed down ballad, was something the album really needed, and if it wasn't there, I don't think that the album would feel as complete as it does. Also, it could have just been an excuse for Halsey to show off her badass vocal showcasing, but who knows. Overall, I think the album's been getting a lot of shit from reviewers for no reason. Everybody is kind of clogged up on this idea that it has to be some Romeo and Juliet love story, and that Halsey couldn't have any creative freedom on it. And to me, that's complete bullshit. If you guys want to hear more about what other critics are saying about this album and what some of the issues other people find in the album are, make sure to click this card up here to take you to that video that I was talking about earlier, where I sit down, I go through track by track by track and explain out the whole album to you and the storyline of the album. Overall, I think the album is absolutely amazing. I think what Halsey set out to do, she did. I think that she had this idea, this concept of an album based off of Romeo and Juliet with her own kind of influence to it, and I think that what she set out to do, she did a perfect job at. Now, don't get me wrong, there are things that I would change about the album, like the unnecessary featured guests. But overall, that's not enough for me to say that this album was bad. Overall, I'd give this album 4 stars. I'm gonna give it 4 stars because it was a huge risk that Halsey took making this concept album in this storyline. And I think, honestly, she pulled it off. I'm only gonna give it 4, though, because I gotta take away a star for Quavo. So, guys, that is my review of Halsey's Hopeless Fountain Kingdom album. You guys should definitely buy the album. You guys should definitely listen to the album. Those links will be in the description as well. If you like this video, please give it a like. I always appreciate all the love that you guys have given me so far. You guys have been absolutely wonderful on the channel, and I thank all of you for that. Also, if you want to share the video, do so. And definitely go check out the other video that I made today, because I think you guys are going to really like it. Also, you should subscribe. I make videos every day or every other day. Check it out. It's fun here, I promise. And as always, you all are wonderful people, and I hope that you, and also you, have a wonderful day.